Hello there. Here's a basic example of how layer ordering works. I have a nighttime scene with a ball, and if I play this, the ball rolls back and forth behind the lamppost and then goes into the alley and disappears. So you saw that at first the ball rolled back and forth in front of this wall, and then later it actually ended up disappearing behind it. So how did that happen? It's pretty easy. First off, I put all of the elements of the animation into a bone folder, and I want to make note that it's in a bone folder because I'm showing this demo with Moho Debut and not Pro. So anyway, let me open up this folder, and this is the order that everything is in to start out with. And this is important because this demo shows layer ordering. Once you have everything in your scene in a bone folder, you can double click up here on the top level, the bone folder, and then click on the tab Depth Sort and choose Enable Animated Layer Order and click OK. So you can see that I have a lot of pieces to my scenery, but the lamppost is on the top of the layer stack. It's in the foreground here in front of everything else. And the next thing is the ball. And so the ball is able to be behind the lamppost starting out and in front of this wall. But you'll see here in the indicator for layer ordering that something changes right here on this frame. And if you look now, the ball has moved in the layer stack. Now it's below the right side wall in the layer stack. So what enabled me to animate the layer ordering was putting everything into this bone folder, and then before I started animating, I double clicked, I chose the Depth Sort tab, and I put a check mark here. Let's have the ball come back out so you can see how simple it is to do this. I'll click on the ball in my layers palette, and it ended up disappearing back here. So I'm just going to put a pause in that and move a little further along the timeline. Click on my transform layer, and I'll just bring the ball back out now. Now you can see it's going to disappear behind the sidewalk because of where the sidewalk is placed. So I have to remedy that by changing the layer order in just the right frame. I'll just grab my scrub bar and pull back on the timeline and see exactly what frame the ball is going to approach that threshold. Okay, right there. And then in the layers palette, I'll just drag it back up just behind the lamppost again. So now if I grab my scrub bar and watch what happened, it seems to cross over that threshold without any problem. And if you look over in the layers palette while I'm dragging back and forth, you'll see that the layer ordering is now animating at that moment. Okay. And if I click back up here on the top level there on the bone folder level, then you can see when that is occurring. Okay, it's right there. So now clicking back on my ball layer there, if I wanted to, let me move a little further in the timeline here. So if I wanted to now at this point, I can move, well, let me move a little further here on the timeline. Then I can again move my ball back and forth in front of these walls along the sidewalk and still behind the lamppost. If I wanted to move it in front of the lamppost, then I can do layer ordering again and drag the ball in front of or on top of the lamppost in the layer stack. So it's really pretty simple. And if you have any questions, just email me.